Hello people, how are we this evening? Hope you're all finding yourselves well. Here we are at Koh Trey, which translates as the Wat on Fish Island. I found this when I got lost looking for the festival almost 2 weeks ago now, and so far it's the most beautiful Wat that I've found in town, and I decided we'll come here today and do a little bit of a walk around. This is the river that divides the mainland and Fish Island, Trey. Some of the fishing fleet are just sitting out. This temple is just a wonderful place to sit down and relax. This is built out over the water, and the vibe here is just really nice. That's the bridge that connects Fish Island to the mainland. And there's the Naga running along the foreshore. Naga is a deep part of Cambodian culture. I believe the Naga is originally a Hindu thing from India. Cambodia was Hindu before it was Buddhist, and Angkor Wat, when it was first built, was a Hindu temple. And then there was a bit of fluctuation, and one king would be Hindu, then the next would be Buddhist. And that actually vandalised the previous religion's temples. You can still see the ancient vandalism if you go to Angkor Wat. But now it's nominally Buddhist, but there's so much Hindu influence here. I just passed another little shrine by the river on the way I've taken a photo of, and it's a Hindu many-armed god, not Ganesh, the other one. This temple's got some wonderful art. And we'll have a walk around and see what we find. Different poses of Buddha. I assume it's Buddha. I know the basics of Buddhism, but Buddhism, like any religion, if you read its founding text, if you read the Bible as a non-Christian, you would definitely not walk away with the same beliefs that Christian churches and their practices have today. Religious practice has a lot to do with tradition, what happened before and what's carried forward and what develops and evolves. This here is a library attached to the Wat. Very nice idea. I love the idea of a library as an ex-bookshop owner. There's a monk sitting out there, looks like he's reading a book. Something magical about the monks. Colour of the robes. Just talking to a Dutch expat who lives here, and he just comes down here with a thermos of coffee and sits each day and has a bit of a relax, and I can fully understand why, and I think I might start doing something similar. That's a very traditional Khmer house attached to the Wat. There's a monk down there talking to an older lady. Houses are traditionally built on stilts. Helps protect them from floods, and also the ventilation of the air is great. There's a temple drum, that's a nice biggie. And that's a traditional Cambodian bullock cart. They are starting, well, they're pretty well basically disappeared now, so they're becoming things that people put in their gardens, and this is the first one I've seen in a Wat. Okay, so I have to take my shoes off, but I'm walking, not going to go in, I'm just going to walk around, so I'll pick my shoes up, carry them with me. There's another temple drum. And I won't go in there today. We'll come back for another look inside. Should have come earlier for that. I can see artwork in there. Oh, I'm so tempted to bang that. That's interesting. I guess that was an accident that the face of Buddha is not showing. There's some charm Muslim girls riding their bicycles through the temple. very rarely do you hear anything of religious friction in Cambodia. Teenagers, one story I read years ago, that was it. So people are pretty relaxed. That's Cambodia in general. You can do what you want as long as it doesn't interfere with others mostly. So today, it's a beautiful building. Another pagoda. Wavering, unsteady mind, hard to guard, difficult to restrain. The wise one straightens like a arrow maker and arrow. That must be taken from a Buddhist text. That's a grand old tree up there. And these are the same style of windows you'll find in Angkor Wat. Long, long ago, before there was glass or steel bars. Allowed light to come in, stop people. There's a school attached to the Wat in the background there. Oh, and there's some monks playing on the swings. Noticed in Camp Pot at least, some of the monks are really, really young. And I'm not sure in Cambodia if, I think it's different than in Thailand where everyone has to do it normally for a year. I don't want to go and stick it in their face. Everyone has to go and do it for a year. Or if you enter young here and stay with it for life, or enter young and then you can leave at some point. I really don't know. The lotus pond. Always seems to be a lotus pond around the Wats. Wonderful idea. And here we're getting into these are stupas here. And they're basically tombs. And if you build a great stupa and you inter in it, in Buddhist theology, it will help you have a better reincarnation in the next life. It brings you merit. The many-headed snake god, spirit home, which I've talked about in previous videos numerous times. I love the moss that grows on trees here. Plants that grow on plants. Gold, gold, gold. The way they do the ceiling, the roofs, I really like that. If I ever built a house here, I would try to do something similar to that. I did make a sign for my bookshop in Cambodia, and I had to get it approved by the police beforehand, and I wanted those esoteric shapes on the sign, and the police disallowed it. Easy come, easy go. More stupas with people inside. When people pass away in Cambodia, that's not the end of it. There's anniversaries, and they can be quite large depending on who the person was. More stupas. And this is surrounded totally by the lotus pond. Pardon me. And another thing I've noticed too, the monks in Cambodia generally don't like being filmed, so I try to respect that and not shove the cameras in their face. A couple of times I filmed it, I could tell that they were uncomfortable, so I stopped and deleted the footage. My friend Cheryl, online Ukraine community supporter, spent time amongst the Tibetan community, and she says it's exactly the opposite in the Tibetan monks. They love being filmed. Hear the boats off in the background, the fishing fleet coming and going. More of the Naga. And these are lions. Cambodia has never had lions. India did and still has, and that's where the idea of the lion comes from. So a lion sculpted by someone who's never seen a lion, and then they just become stylized over 1,000 years. Not sure if we'll be able to see anything through. It looks like they're mirror glass here. I'll come back another day and try maybe film inside. It's only a few months until Cambodian New Year, and hopefully I time the day right and I get up before sunset and I'm down here. More charm people coming through. As I've mentioned in previous videos, maybe half the people on Fish Island are charm Muslim. A little bit different than the Gothic cathedrals in Europe, eh? Angkor Wat was the first city I ever went to, Siem Reap, in Cambodia all those years ago, and at that time there was almost nothing there. There were like 4 hotels, guest houses in town, and I went back maybe about 5 years ago, and that place is amazing. So many tourist hotels, bars, restaurants, everything. Good place to visit, but I couldn't live in Siem Reap. I spent about 6 weeks exploring. The temples extend out beyond Siem Reap, and after about 6 weeks I just had enough. It's inland and it can get very still and hot in Siem Reap. Nice place for a holiday, but I wouldn't want to live there. But there's a lot of expats living there doing their thing. If you want to do business, it's a good option. Som Sua. Okay. Thank you very much. Som Sua is a bit of a high form of greeting, and they got the right result. It was really nice. And here's a reclining Buddha. That's a nice one, actually. Oh, that little fella had such a wonderful little vibe going on. Would like to know more about Buddhism in Cambodia. Unfortunately, my ex-partner, who was Khmer, we were together for 8 years. She was Buddhist, but it was ritualistic, not ethical or thinking about it from that perspective. Ceremonial, a little bit in the way that I might be still regarded as a Christian. I don't really believe in Christianity, but you know, weddings, funerals, things like that. Still, the church is a place kind of to do it. Assalamu alaikum. Chairman sitting and relaxing. That's Mount Bokor off in the distance. It appears in nearly all of my videos because it hangs over Camp Hot. And I will be getting out there again and doing a video at some point soon, hopefully. Just not going to take my motorbike unless or until I get the brakes repaired, because going up and down those hills you want really good brakes, and mine are a little bit I pull the brake and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. There There are still wild, there's a statue of a wild elephant, an elephant coming up. Yes, Adna, Loo, Bokor. There are still apparently wild elephants in the Cardamom Mountains of Cambodia, and they only know so, the last article I read on the wild ones anyway, that they're there due to their feces. They're so smart, the ones that have survived have learned to just hide or run as soon as they see humans. I have had encounters with elephants in Cambodia, but tame ones. One time I was sitting in my bookshop in Cambodia, in Sihanoukville, and I had a little dog, and an elephant appeared out the front with the mahut on top, and my tiny little dog went sick. She decided she was going to take on the elephant, and she was running in and out between its legs, barking at it, and there was nothing I could do. I was just thinking, oh, any minute now the elephant's going to have enough and just put a foot on her and that's it. But no, it just ignored, microscopic compared to the size of the elephant. I've ridden on them and they're amazingly quiet and nimble up and down mountains, and they do what they want. If they want to stop and pull off a branch and eat it, they will. Yep, I'm definitely going to be coming back here sometimes just when I want to chill. This is a lovely little spot. So we've done the full lap, and I feel this is a nice place. There's a public road running through it, so anyone can come here. When I come back, and if I go inside, I'll make an offering. That's the respectful thing to do, I believe. Bend down, offer some incense. When in Rome, do as the Romans do, more nuggets. Okay guys, well, I hope you enjoyed the little walk around the temple today. I know I did. This was a lovely little break, and I think I'm off now to check out a Thai restaurant. Love Thai food, and there's a few in town, and I'm just gonna go and eat at one that I haven't eaten at before. I don't think I'll do a video on her yet. And with the view of the main pagoda, I'll leave you and say goodbye. Thanks guys.